Hello everyone. India is a sovereign nation. Let me begin there. Sovereign. That means we decide who we trade with, who we buy oil from, who we negotiate with, and on what terms.
US imports $46 billion to $146 billion. This is absolutely absurd.
We've already made a deal. India is coming in and they're going to be buying Venezuelan oil as opposed to buying it from Iran. So we've already made that deal, the concept of the deal.
Modi is a great man. That he loves Trump. Now, I don't know if the word love, I don't want you to take that any different. I don't want to destroy his political career, okay?
No other country announces decisions for us, right?
Modi's a very good man.
Yes.
He's a good guy. He knew I was not happy. And it was important to make me happy. They do trade. And we can raise tariffs on them very quickly.
No other leader speaks on our behalf, right? So tonight, we are not shouting. We are not reacting emotionally. We are doing something far more dangerous. We are asking questions. Let's look at the chronology. Because timing in geopolitics is never accidental. United States President Donald Trump had for long been threatening India of punitive tariff, and time and again he referred to India's continued buying of oil from Russia as a reason for him being upset. He had been making posts on his social handle Truth as early as from September onwards. And India has maintained that it decides its own foreign policy. Fair enough. Then Russian President Vladimir Putin made a state visit to India on 4th and 5th of December 2025, which is just 2 months back. He was in New Delhi for the 23rd India-Russia Annual Summit, where he held talks with India's leadership, including Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Draupadi Murmu, and discussed boosting bilateral cooperation in areas like trade, energy, and defense. There was also that moment in the car where both the heads of the states were spotted, symbolic of a strong relationship, of course, hailed by BJP back then as a masterstroke by Modi. The US had then imposed hefty tariffs on Indian imports up to 50%, which Washington had said that it was its way of building pressure on Moscow over Russia-Ukraine war. In between, on some odd occasions, we will also see social media camaraderie, where Prime Minister Modi and Donald Trump, US President, will refer to each other as friends, excellent friends. So long story cut short, for months, India-US trade relations were strained, punitive tariffs were imposed, Indian exports were hit, pressure had escalated, and then something unusual happened. Controversial, confidential files surfaced publicly, at least in US. I can't take the name. What if they will censor our video like the Speaker of Indian Parliament had censored the Leader of Opposition, Rahul Gandhi?
Speaker sir, दो चीजें हैं सर. एक सर Epstein case. Sir, 3 million files are still locked up.
उसका इस विषय से कोई संबंध नहीं. नहीं क्यों बोले?
I want to understand.
I will not allow you. नहीं, आप कौन होते हैं? आप बैठिए.
Okay, sir, I won't say Epstein.
I will not allow you. That will
I'm not saying Epstein. Businessman
Yes.
whose name has appeared in Epstein files, and that businessman is not in jail. That businessman has criminal cases against him.
The subject. What file you are taking? No, Epstein file. No, not. How I can allow you? No. How, if any file, if any subject is not related with the budget, you can't speak. Please, you can't speak.
Files that mentioned high-profile Indian political names and corporate figures. The government did not recognize those files. But then, they did surface, are available in United States of America, and their surfacing has happened. And it happened just days before the India-US trade blueprint was announced. I'm not drawing conclusions. I'm just stating the sequence. Then suddenly, an interim trade framework was announced. Not just by India, but prominently by the United States. In fact, the the White House had put out its fact sheet swiftly. And once again, we saw something strange. The American side seemed more eager to announce the contours of the deal. Since Pahalgam, since Operation Sindoor, it has increasingly been felt like announcements concerning India are coming from far Washington first. Even earlier, we saw public claims by US President Donald Trump that he brokered a ceasefire between India and Pakistan during Operation Sindoor.
On Saturday, my administration helped broker a full and immediate ceasefire, I think a permanent one, between India and Pakistan, ending a dangerous conflict of two nations with lots of nuclear weapons. And they were going at it hot and heavy, and it was seemingly not going to stop. And I'm very proud to let you know that the leadership of India and Pakistan was unwavering, powerful, but unwavering in both cases, and having these, they really were, from the standpoint of having the strength and the wisdom and fortitude to fully know and to understand the gravity of the situation. And we helped a lot.
Many had kept account. Over 100 times he had said that he has brokered truce, brokered a deal between India and Pakistan using trade as a leverage, for which he should be given Nobel Prize for Peace.
Whether people like Trump or don't like Trump, I settled 8 wars, big ones, some going on for 36 years, 32 years, 31 years, 28 years, 25 years, some just getting ready to start, like India and Pakistan, where already 8 jets were shot out of the air, and I got it done in rapid order without nuclear weapons. I can't think of anybody in history that should get the Nobel Prize more than me, and I don't want to be bragging, but nobody else settled wars. Obama got the Nobel Prize.
And India never directly responded by naming him, never publicly corrected Donald Trump by naming him. Around the same time, there were ongoing legal proceedings in the United States of America involving 2 major Indian corporate figures, 2 people whose names start with A. I won't take their names, because this is democracy and a free country, and anyone can come after our video.
So I'd like to talk about Mr. Adani and the case in the United States against Mr. Adani, because that is a central part of the budget.
वो भी इस हाउस के
Why, sir?
कोई सदस्य नहीं जिस पे आप आरोप लगा रहे हैं, कैसे संभाल देंगे?
Active cases, active scrutiny. That too is a fact. Now again, no conclusions, just the chronology. India and US are now finally inking this trade deal, the announcement of which came on 2nd of February 2026, came after months of negotiations marked by disputes over tariffs, energy purchases and geopolitical alignments. US President Donald Trump and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi both highlighted the pact as a step towards stronger cooperation with implications for global trade dynamics and efforts to address the ongoing Ukraine crisis. The agreement was first publicized by President Trump in a post on his Truth Social, where he detailed the core elements of the deal. According to Trump, the US will lower its reciprocal tariff on Indian imports from 25% to 18%, while also waiving an additional 25% punitive tariff that had been imposed due to India's continued purchases of Russian oil. This effectively reduces the overall tariff burden on Indian goods from 50% to 18%. Great news, providing a competitive edge to Indian exporters over rivals in regions like South Asia and China. In exchange, India has committed to halting its imports of Russian oil, again announced by Donald Trump. Trump stated that India would instead increase purchases from the United States and potentially Venezuela, emphasizing that this shift could help de-escalate the conflict by reducing Russia's revenue streams. Okay, by the way, President of Venezuela is now in US captivity. That's a small hyphen in the long chronology. Furthermore, Prime Minister Modi has pledged to buy over 500 billion US dollar worth US products spanning energy, technology, agriculture, coal and other sectors including defense. India will also reduce its own tariffs and non-tariff barriers on US goods to guess what? Zero. Repeat after me. Zero. Understand, India is dealing with US, and yet, like a big brother, big-heartedly you have reduced India's tariff to zero. Tell me honestly, does that look like equal negotiation, or does it look like signaling control? Energy scrutiny is not a small matter. Oil is not just fuel. Oil is sovereignty. Who decides where India buys oil from? Russia or United States or Venezuela? Delhi or Washington? Rahul Gandhi asked this directly in the parliament.
You have the United States has reduced Bangladesh's tariff to zero. And our tariff is 18%. What do you expect our textile people to do? They're dead. They're finished. The entire textile industry is gone because their competitor is Bangladesh. If Bangladesh imports US cotton, they have 0% duty. Finished. Textile industry gone. Let's talk about energy. What we need for the data, what we need for our food, what we have fought for, energy security, gone. Now the United States will decide who we buy oil from.
Yes.
The United States will come to us and say, you cannot buy oil from so-and-so, and so-and-so, and so-and-so. Russia, Iran, whoever they want. They will decide. Our Prime Minister will not decide. Please understand, and they will monitor. They will keep a watch, meaning they will look, and if India buys oil from anyone they do not want, they will punish us. And they will take our tariffs right back to 50%.
In what many would say as one of his strongest submissions, Rahul Gandhi questioned, if Bangladesh's tariff on textile can be reduced to zero by US, then why not on India? What deal are we celebrating? A deal that may take textile business away from India to Bangladesh?
He has sold India because they are choking him. They've got a grip on his neck. Speaker साहब, मैंने बोला जब चोक लगाते हैं दूसरे व्यक्ति की आंख में देखते हो तो डर दिखता है सर, पीएम की आंख में डर दिखता है सर, आंख में आंख नहीं मिला पाते हैं.
Rahul Gandhi point blank said that India can't be equated with Pakistan. Any nationalist will appreciate that. But there was ruckus in Indian Parliament filled with nationalist MPs.
India Alliance government would go there and say, data is our biggest strength. Now let us talk. Meaning we would go there as equals. We would not be made equal to Pakistan. And if President Trump decided that Pakistan army chief is going to have breakfast with him, then we would have something to say about that. It is disgraceful. It is disgraceful. No Prime Minister has ever done this before. And let me tell you, no Prime Minister after you is ever going to do it. So we are facing a storm. You accept that we are facing a storm. You yourself say the era of one superpower is over, intensifying geopolitical conflicts. You yourself say energy and finance weaponization, and you have allowed the Americans to weaponize our finance and our energy against us. What does it mean when America says you cannot buy oil from somebody? It means our energy is weaponized. What does it mean when they say your tariffs will go down, our tariffs will go down and yours will come up? It means finance trade is weaponized. So you are telling us that the world is a place where geopolitical conflict is intensifying. You're telling us energy and finance being weaponized, and then you're having it done to you. You're having it done to our farmers. You're having it done to our youngsters. You're handing our data over. How can you even make these statements? How can you even come to this house and talk this type of nonsense? Are you not ashamed of yourselves? Are you not ashamed of giving?
That was not rhetoric. That was a sovereignty question. And instead of answering that question calmly, what happened? Shouting, interruptions, rule books were waived, section 352 was highlighted, and he was told that he cannot take certain names. He was barred from mentioning specific individuals, names of individuals who do not belong to the parliament anymore. He was prevented from referencing to the controversial files. Interesting, isn't it?
Rule 352, mentioning about Ravishankar Prasad ji raised the issue. In that house, 2 days before, a member has given a very, very derogatory remarks against the former Prime Minister. Two former Prime Minister. Where was this Rule 352?
Applicable to everybody, not only for him, not only for him.
Names cannot be taken of those who do not belong to the house anymore. Correct? Correct. Yet, the Prime Minister has routinely taken the name of former Prime Minister Pandit Nehru. A man who is not in the house anymore, not alive anymore, and no rule book appeared then.
नेहरू जी और इंदिरा जी की सोच क्या थी, मैं उसके विषय में बताना चाहता हूं। इंदिरा जी एक बार ईरान गए थे और ईरान में वो भाषण दे रही थी और उस भाषण में उन्होंने नेहरू जी के साथ जो बातचीत हुई थी उसका उल्लेख किया। खुद ने कहा है, उन्होंने कहा, और मैं जो इंदिरा जी ने कहा था उसको कोट कर रहा हूं, जब किसी ने मेरे पिताजी से पूछा, यानी नेहरू जी से पूछा कि उनके सामने कितनी समस्याएं हैं, तो उन्होंने उत्तर दिया था 35 करोड़। नेहरू जी ने जवाब दिया था कि उनके सामने कितनी समस्याएं हैं, बोले 35 करोड़। उस समय हमारे देश की जनसंख्या थी 35 करोड़। अब आगे देखिए, 35 करोड़ देशवासी नेहरू जी को समस्या लगते थे। ऐसा कोई मुखिया हो सकता है क्या जी? और इस बात का उदाहरण देते हुए इंदिरा जी ने आगे कहा कि आज देश की जनसंख्या 57 करोड़ है, इसलिए मेरी समस्याओं की संख्या भी उतनी ही बड़ी है। यानी पिताजी को 35 करोड़ समस्या वाले देशवासी लगते थे, अब 57 करोड़ उनको समस्या। कोई ऐसा हो सकता है जो अपने ही देशवासियों को समस्या माने? ये फर्क है उनकी सोच और हमारी सोच में, ये फर्क है उनके अप्रोच और हमारे अप्रोच में। नेहरू जी हो या इंदिरा जी हो या पूरी कांग्रेसी बिरादरी हो, ये लोग भारत के लोगों को समस्या मानते हैं। आदरणीय सभापति जी, मेरे कई कोटेशन मिलेंगे। देश के पहले प्रधानमंत्री लाल किले से बोल रहे हैं। देखिए, आपकी इच्छा रहती है ना, मैं पंडित जी का नाम नहीं बोलता हूं, आज मैं बार बार बोलने वाला हूं। आज तो नेहरू जी ही नेहरू जी। मजा लीजिए आज।
माननीय सदस्य, आप वर्तमान बजट पे बोले 2016 के बाद तो 2019
सर मैं
जवाहरलाल नेहरू का बात तो लोग बोलेगा, जवाहरलाल नेहरू का बात तो लोग बोलेगा।
कोई 60 साल पहले जवाहरलाल नेहरू का बात करेगा, दूसरे नेताओं का बात करेगा, तब आप कुछ नहीं बोलेंगे।
सब बोलते
मैं
हैं।
5 साल पहले का डिमोनेटाइजेशन का बात करूंगा तो आप कहेंगे भाई वर्तमान इशू पे बोलिए।
बजट
सर ये
बजट पे।
पक्षपात नहीं चलेगा सर।
बजट पे
मैं बजट पे ही बोल रहा हूँ। जब विप्लव देव बोल रहा था तब 100 साल पुराना बात कर रहा था, 50 साल पुराने इमरजेंसी का बात कर रहा था, तब आप चुप थे। और अब मैं डिमोनेटाइजेशन का बात कर रहा हूँ, आपको चुप रहे। वाह।
Oh, sorry, that was Abhishek Banerjee from 2024, which means blaming Pandit Nehru for everything isn't a new phenomenon. had been going on since very long, yet no rule book. Rahul Gandhi can't take certain names. If you are confident, why fear names? If everything is transparent, why suppress debate? He argued that India's economy is being strategically positioned, that pressure was applied, that our economy is being weaponized to be used against us, that concessions were made, and that this compromises India's long-term leverage. You may agree with him, you may disagree, but those questions deserve answers, not noise. Even Akhilesh Yadav has questioned if this budget 2026 happened first or this deal.
बजट पर सबसे पहला सवाल यही है कि डील पहले बनी है बजट। और बजट का हलवा यहां ज्यादा बटा के वहां।
So had Abhishek Banerjee.
5 years after the historic farmers movement, which saw 700 lives lost, the union government has still refused to legalize MSP. Promises were made at protest sites, assurances were echoed in parliament, but delivery never followed. And now, adding salt to the injury, the government has now announced a trade deal with the United States that will open Indian markets to heavily subsidized American farm produce. The deal may benefit American farmers, but it will depress prices, destroy competitiveness, and further marginalize Indian farmers who struggle without MSP protection. So this is not a trade policy. This is an abandonment of our Annadata.
Now let's talk about farmers. What exactly does this deal do to our Indian farmers? Will subsidized American agricultural products enter Indian markets? What safeguards are there in place? Has the government published a full transparent breakdown? Or are we relying on carefully worded fact sheets? And jobs? What about jobs? How many jobs will this deal create? Show us projections. Show us sector-wise analysis. Because slogans are not economic policy. Now step back again. Look at the bigger picture. Controversial confidential files surface. Legal scrutiny in US against certain individuals. Tariff pressure escalates. Russian president visits India. Suddenly tariffs spike further. Then negotiations intensify. Then a deal appears. And immediately after, what dominates Indian television? Polarizing debates. Yes, polarizing debates. Because this video had surfaced. How did this surface? This video has been put out by BJP Assam, released by them. So who then stoked the controversy? BJP. Who later deleted the video? BJP. Who disowned the video? Hemanta Biswa Sharma, Assam Chief Minister, BJP Chief Minister. You realize? A video targeting Muslims and secular India will stay quiet. Or maybe you wanted the secular India to get riled up, shout, so that questions on US-India deal can drown. Religious controversies, communal narratives, emotional distractions, primetime shouting matches, endless panels. And while that ecosystem of polarization is active, who is calmly reading the trade fine print? Who is questioning energy clauses? Who is analyzing long-term economic repercussions on India? Distraction is not always accidental. Sometimes it is strategy. If citizens are emotionally engaged, they are less economically vigilant. If people are divided, then they are less demanding. They won't be asking you about jobs. Assam Chief Minister is not alone. Someone is talking about Shah Rukh Khan, saying boycott Shah Rukh Khan. Someone is saying that Muslims are responsible for everything wrong happening in India. They are responsible for all the problems, including we not getting our promised 15 lakhs. Now ask yourself something very simple. Doesn't this look like a choreography? Why does it increasingly appear that announcements about India are coming from outside India? India is not a client state. India is not a satellite. India is a civilization with its own agency. So why does the optics suggest otherwise? Please tell me. Let me be very clear. No country negotiates without compromise. Trade deals involve give and take. But compromise must be transparent. It must be debated. It must be justified. It must protect the weakest, farmers, small industries, workers. And if this deal is truly historic, show us the full text. If this deal is truly beneficial, answer the hard questions. If nothing is being hidden, why suppress references? Why block names? Why deflect to communal noise? Rahul Gandhi says that Prime Minister has been choked and thus this deal. He says no Prime Minister has ever done this before and no Prime Minister after Prime Minister Modi in the future will do this. That is compromise with India. This is not about supporting one party or opposing another. This is about sovereignty. This is about accountability. This is about asking who negotiated, under what pressure, and in whose interest. India deserves clarity, not choreography, not distraction, not theatre. Nothing but clarity, and citizens have every right to demand answers. Like Swami Vivekananda said, arise, awake, and stop, not till the goal is reached. Similarly, ask the question, keep asking them, and don't let anyone distract you from those questions till you get the answers. Jai Hind, Satyameva Jayate.